Hey, what is up, One Life? I'm so glad you've joined us. And I hope that wherever you are, you can stand, join, shout it out, whatever you want to do. We're going to teach you a brand new song, comes from Psalms, and it is called The King of Glory. Here we go. Don't give up, there is hope, there is always hope. And there is peace in the storm, in the storm. No, don't forget, He is Lord of all. Lift your eyes, hey! There is the King of Glory, there is the God who saves, one who is strong and mighty, freedom is in His name. Open the gates of heaven, lift up a shout of praise. There is a lion roaring, Jesus the King of Glory. Oh, lift your eyes, stand in awe, stand in awe. Oh, there is one, only one, where my help comes from. There is the King of Glory, there is the God who saves, one who is strong and mighty, freedom is in His name. Open the gates of heaven, lift up a shout of praise. There is the lion roaring, He is the King of Glory. The nations bow, mountains shake at the sound of just one name. Over all, Jesus reigns. I know. Sing it again. Nations bow, mountains shake at the sound of just one name. Over all, Jesus reigns. I know, I know, I know. No, no. So lift your heads, your gates, be lifted up, you ancient doors, that the King of Glory may come in. Who is He, this King of Glory? The Lord Almighty. He is the King of Glory. There is the King of Glory, there is the God who saves, one who is strong and mighty, freedom is in His name. Open the gates of heaven, lift up a shout of praise. There is a lion roaring, Jesus the King of Glory. Jesus the King of Glory.
Hello everyone, my name is Katie and I am here to bring you a couple of announcements. If you are new to our online service, I want to welcome you. It is so great to have you with us. We'd love to learn a little bit more about you. So if you're comfortable, please fill out the connection form by clicking on the link in the chat. The chat is also a great way to join in on the conversation. Our chat hosts really set the table for conversation and dialogue that draws us deeper into our faith. So I encourage you to participate in that. There's going to be a lot of conversation happening during service, but if you're craving something maybe a little more in person, I would encourage you to join us in the church parking lot on June 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. for free ice cream. Our staff and ministry leaders will be there as your car hops. You can definitely stay in the parking lot and eat your ice cream and maybe visit safely with some other families, but we do ask that you stay in your cars. So while you're at the church, you may notice our blessing box. It's kind of on the corner. One Life is responsible for stocking this blessing box with non-perishable food and toiletry items for the month of July. So let's come together and demonstrate Jesus' love by helping our neighbors in need. You can sign up on onelifehub.com. The blessing box really allows us to care for people that we may have never met, but we also want to give you an opportunity to care for your friends inside of the church through our meal trains. A meal train is a service that provides food and care for people who need a break or need a little bit of help. People like new parents or those who've had surgery, or maybe someone who's lost a loved one, or anyone else who really needs the comfort of a hot meal. You can sign up to be part of our meal train team in the notes section, and we'll reach out to you the next time that we have a meal train. I know that we definitely have a few coming up. So we've got one more pretty cool thing that is headed our way. You may have heard someone mention something called an axiom group. And axiom groups are the next step in the discipleship process. The goal of an axiom group is to continue building a strong foundation for your faith upon the truth of who God is, how God interacts with us, and how we respond to God on a daily basis. So for more information, you can go to onelifechurch.tv/axiom. That's AXIOM. As Christians, we believe certain things about who God is and the role that he plays in the world and in our personal lives. Countless books and sermon series have studied God and his characteristics. We describe God in many ways by saying things like he's holy, or he's kind, or compassionate, or just. God shows mercy. He shows love. He offers forgiveness. Each of us might say something very different about who God is to us in our own lives. So it's interesting that when God described himself for the first time to Moses, he didn't list his attributes. Here, listen to Exodus 3:14-15. God replied to Moses, "I am who I am. Say this to the people of Israel, I am sent me to you." God also said to Moses, "Say this to the people of Israel, Yahweh, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my eternal name, my name to remember for all generations." God, who cannot be fully encompassed by human words or descriptions, simply said that he is Yahweh, I am. This reminder that God absolutely is and was and will be reminds us that he is our ultimate reality. Yahweh is independent and eternal and constant. He is the absolute standard of truth. He is our forever. Nothing can compare to Yahweh. And in all of this infinite being, he invites us into him. I mean, can you believe that? The God who reigns over everything and created everything, the one who exists without dimension or time or end, loves us deeply and cares for us individually. You are not looked over. You are not forgotten. You were created by and are loved eternally by the great I am.
Our God, he lives forever. He reigns in power and love. Let earth bow down before him. He is exalted. We look to Yahweh, Yahweh. Our hope is Yahweh, Yahweh. Ooh. Is God Almighty. is greater than all. Lift high the God of heaven. Give all the honor. Whoa, we look to Yahweh, Yahweh. Our hope is Yahweh, Yahweh. And He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever and ever. And He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever and ever. Our God. We look to you, Jesus. We look to you. We look to you. We look to Yahweh, Yahweh. Our hope is Yahweh, Yahweh. We look to Yahweh, Yahweh. Our hope is Yahweh, Yahweh. And He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever and ever. And He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever. He shall reign forever and ever. And He shall reign. He shall reign. And He shall reign forever and ever. And He shall reign. He shall reign. And He shall reign forever and ever. Our God. And He shall reign. And He shall rule.
Hey friends, my name is Justin and I'm one of the pastors here at One Life. During this time, we're going to continue to worship through the giving of our tithes and offerings and during a time of communion. I want to invite you to go ahead and get the bread or some crackers and grab the cup and fill it with some juice so that you can have that ready to take communion together. I want to also invite you to participate, to partner with what God is doing here at One Life Church. We do that through our radical generosity. One of the prayers that we have for our church is that we would be known as a radically generous church. That doesn't happen just for a church as a whole. It happens because each individual, each family decides to be radically generous. So I want to invite you to be a part of that. There's going to be a link in the chat. You can click that and you can give your tithes and offerings this morning. And you can go ahead and do that and worship through the giving of your tithes and offerings. Now we're going to go and we're going to take communion. And as we're doing that, I want to look at John chapter 1, verse 29. It's one of my favorite scenes. It's about John the Baptist, and John the Baptist had a group of followers, and he was telling them, there's one coming after me that you're going to want to follow. He was telling them about the coming Messiah, the coming Savior. And so in verse 29 of John chapter 1, Jesus shows up on the scene. And John the Baptist turns to his followers, his disciples, and says, "Look!" And there's an exclamation mark. He's so excited. He says, "Look, it is the Lamb of God who has come to take away the sins of the world." The King James Version uses the word behold. Behold, or take hold of. Wrap your arms around the Lamb of God who has come to take away the sins of the world today. I want with excitement to invite you to take hold of the Lamb of God who came to take away your sin. I want to invite you today to look at the Lamb of God that came to take away your sin. We do that every week through the bread and the cup. We look at what Jesus has done. We proclaim, we declare the death, the burial, and resurrection of Jesus until he returns again. On the night that Jesus was betrayed, he sat with his closest friends. And in the middle of the meal, he took the bread and he gave thanks for the bread. And he said to them, "This is my body." In the words of John the Baptist, take hold of it. Take hold of the body of Jesus. And Jesus said to his friends, "Take and eat." And then in the same way, Jesus took the cup. He gave thanks for the cup. And he said to his friends, "This cup, this is my blood, poured out for the forgiveness of your sins." Take hold of the person of Jesus today, my friends. His forgiveness is offered to you. Take hold of it. Take and drink. Jesus, thank you. Thank you for being the Lamb of God that came to take away our sins, to take away the sins of the world, to restore all things. You accomplished what we could not. Thank you for offering forgiveness and mercy and grace to us. We take hold of it. We look at you and we worship you. We lift you on high. You and you alone are worthy of our worship. It's in the name of the resurrected Christ that we pray. Amen and amen.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. And I'm no longer a slave to fear, and I am a child of God. And I'm no longer a slave to fear, I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again to your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
Hey everybody, it's Justin, one of the pastors here at One Life, and it is so good to be able to hang out with you today. Let me give you one quick announcement. For the first time ever, we are doing a digital online orientation shindig. And so if you have been new to our church over the past few months or even the last few weeks, maybe you've been joining us for the first time online, we want to invite you to go through our orientation shindig. This is our membership class. This is when you come and you learn what it means to be a part of the One Life Church family, what we believe, our vision, our values, and all of those things. There is a link in the chat bar, and if you'll just click that, fill out a quick form, that'll let us know that you're interested, and then we will follow up with you and let you know how you can get connected to that. I'm so excited for that, and this is a new day. This is what it looks like for us to be the church right now, and so I hope that you will take advantage of that great opportunity. I want to invite you to have a conversation with the people that you are sitting with, whether it's in your living room or in your kitchen or in the chat bar. The question for today is this: when did you meet your best friend? When did you meet your best friend? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to have that conversation, either with those that you're watching with or in the chat bar. Ready, set, go. All right, let's go ahead and come back together. And I wanted to tell you a couple stories. The first one was this week I saw a video on Instagram of these two little girls. They were probably 10, 11 years old, and they were best friends. They are best friends, but they haven't seen each other for 3 months. Maybe you can resonate with that. And this video was their parents recording the first time they've seen each other in those 3 months. One of the girls gets out of the car, the other girl walks out of the house, and they just collide in this moment of pure joy. You can almost hear them whenever they embrace one another and they hug each other because they had seen, they're getting the opportunity to see their best friend for the first time in 3 months. Another one is actually personal to me. This week I saw my good friend JT. He's a member of our One Life Church family, and I got to see him, and we kind of looked at each other, and we were going to do the fist bump thing, and he just leaned in and gave me a big old hug. If you've ever had a hug from JT, you know that those are some of the best hugs, and it was just so good to embrace one another and say, man, it is so good to see you. It's so good to see friends. And that time is coming for our church. That time is coming when we'll be able to see one another face to face. And we just have to continue to have hope that God is still bringing healing to our world, and that eventually our church will be able to get back together and we can embrace one another and shake each other's hands and see each other face to face. Today, we're going to continue our series in the Psalms by jumping into Psalms 85. And so if you have your Bible, I want to invite you to turn to Psalms 85, and we're going to look at one verse. Psalms 85, verse 10. And the reason I do this is just to remind you that when you read Scripture on your own, you don't have to read entire chapters. You don't have to read entire books. You don't have to sit down for hours. You can actually zoom in on one verse and ask the Lord, what do you want to say to me in this one verse? I want to invite you to be reading through the Psalms with us this summer. We have a reading plan for you that you can follow along. Just go to onelifechurch.tv/Devo, D-E-V-O, and there's a reading plan there for you. If you haven't started, that's fine. You can jump in today and start reading through the Psalms. So Psalm 85, verse 10, the psalmist writes these words. The psalmist says, unfailing love and truth have met together. They've met together. It's like those best friends meeting for the first time in 3 months. It's like the first time that you met your best friend. Unfailing love and truth. They are best friends working together, and they met together. And then the psalmist goes on and says, righteousness and peace have kissed. That's kind of an interesting imagery that the psalmist uses, but it's this idea that righteousness and peace, the unfailing truth, the unfailing love and truth, they come together and they are working hand in hand. Today, we're going to tackle how do we relate to the people around us? Now, if you are on social media, you probably realize that we're not very good at relating with one another. Maybe you have relationships, friendships, you have coworkers, or you have relationships with family members where you have a hard time interacting with one another. You have a hard time seeking peace, and also showing love, speaking truth. How do we interact with one another? And is there a healthy way to do that? So that's what we're going to tackle today. Now, we relate to one another. This is my opinion. We relate to one another in the same way that we believe that God relates to us. Let me say that again, and I want you just to wrap your mind around this. Oftentimes, we relate to one another in relationship in the same way that we believe that God is relating to us. And so if God is condemning us, then usually we are super judgmental in our relationships. If God is showing us grace, then we are more easily, we have an easier time showing grace in our relationships. The Apostle John writes these words in 1 John chapter 4, verse 19. He says, we love because He first loved us. And so our love for one another flows from the way that God relates to us. So if we believe that God keeps us at an arm's distance, then what are we most likely going to do in our relationships? Keep us at an arm's distance. If we believe that God He finds it easy to abandon us in our time of need, then how will we most likely relate to one another in our relationships? That we might abandon one another when our friend or our loved one is in a time of need. We relate to one another in the same way that we believe that God relates to us. So how do you believe? How do you believe God relates to you? How do you believe God relates to you? Now, Psalm 85, it reminds us that God's love and His truth, they are unfailing. God's love is unfailing and God's truth is unfailing. And that His unfailing love and His unfailing truth, that they work hand in hand. That they have met together, they have come together to work together. Psalm 85 reminds us that God's righteousness and His peace, they have kissed. They have come together. Righteousness for the psalmist is always about justice. Righteousness and justice. Oftentimes when we think about righteousness, we think about moral actions. We think about a to-do list, a moral to-do list, or a moral to not do list. But for the psalmist, righteousness is about justice, about making things right, the way that they were meant to be. And peace is always about restoration, reconciliation. So when righteousness and peace kiss, we experience restorative justice. I think you've probably heard me say that phrase before. And so once again, the psalmist is pointing us to this characteristic of God, this action of God, who God is and what God is up to in the world. Who He is and what He's up to in the world is restorative justice. And these two things, they cannot be separated. For the psalmist, it's not either love or truth. It's not either righteousness or peace. They do not compete with one another. It's not an either or. It's a both and. Now, as people, we often see things, as people who often see things through a binary lens, a binary worldview, we struggle to understand how both love and truth can be at play at the same time. We struggle. We struggle to understand how both righteousness and peace can be present at the same time. And that's because we live in an either-or world. Let me just challenge us. Can we take off the lenses, the glasses of either-or, and start to see things through the lens of the psalmist, which is a both and? Now, at best, we live in a world that teaches us to balance love and truth. And what that looks like is that I give a little bit of love and then I give a little bit of truth. I put a little salt and then I put a little pepper. It's a balancing act. We can't really work it out in our mind that they are both happening at the same time. And so in this situation, I might give love, but in this situation, then I feel like I have to give truth. But that's not what the psalmist is inviting us to. The psalmist is inviting us into a life where truth and love work hand in hand. Jesus did not show us a way to balance love and truth. In the life of Jesus, He did not show us a way to balance justice and peace. He came to show us how to live out love and truth, justice and peace together, working together. This is why we read in John chapter 1, verse 14, that the Word, Jesus, He is the eternal Word, the infallible Word, became human. So God took on flesh in the person of Jesus, and He made His home among us. He took up residence among us. He moved into our neighborhood. Now listen to this. And he, Jesus, the eternal Word, was full of unfailing love and truth. He was full of unfailing truth and love. So it wasn't a little bit of love and a little bit of truth. It was that in Jesus, there was a fullness of love and truth. Not love sometimes and sometimes truth. Not sometimes a little love, sometimes a little truth, and then sometimes the other. It was love and truth working hand in hand. And as you look through the stories of Jesus, you see this lived out in flesh. Love and truth. Justice and peace. There is no justice without peace, and there is no peace without justice. You've probably heard over the past few weeks that phrase, there is no peace without justice, but it's also true that there is no justice without peace. See, they work hand in hand. It is not an either or, it is a both and. There is no love without truth, and there is no truth without love. Of course, we have to do the hard work of defining these terms, because all of us would come to the table and we would have different definitions. And so let's do some hard work of defining these terms. Let's work with the terms love and truth for today. Love. Love is the pursuit of peace. It is the pursuit of shalom. We talked about shalom last week. Love is always about relationship. It's about what we call incarnation, that is, God coming to us in flesh. It's about flesh meeting flesh. It's meeting someone where they are. That's love. Love is not about peacekeeping. Love is about peacemaking. It's not the easy way. It's the hard way of making. We have to understand that with relationships always comes tension. You know this. You know this. When you have relationships, there's always going to be tension. There's always going to be friction. There will always be times when we offend one another. If you've been in relationships for any length of time, you know that at some point you're going to step on each other's toes. You are going to offend one another. You can also say this: if we never offend one another, if we simply keep peace, then we actually never need the gospel. The gospel is about restoration. It's about restoring relationships. It's about reconciliation. You and I coming together. It's about forgiveness. And so if we don't ever offend one another, if we don't ever step on one another's toes, if we don't ever hurt one another, then we're not in need of the gospel. And when we do offend one another, when we do hurt one another, that is the perfect opportunity for us to see love become a reality. So as we move forward, we're going to work from a place of understanding that love is about relationship. It's about being present with one another. It's about restoration. It's about peacemaking. Now, let's define truth. Often we think of truth as right belief or knowledge. And that's not all that the psalmist had in mind. There is an element of knowledge to truth, but there's much more going on. Truth is connected to justice. It's about calling each other to be who God created us to be. It's about the word empowerment. Be who God created you to be. You don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to be in competition to be better than the next person or the next neighbor that lives next door, but be who God created you to be. So truth is about the Imago Dei. It's about reminding one another that we have all been created in the image of God. And that because we have been created in the Imago Dei, the image of God, then we have intrinsic worth and value. We have intrinsic worth and value because we are image bearers. Do you remember the story when Jesus meets the woman at the well? She was a Samaritan woman. And Jesus says to the woman throughout this conversation, he says this, there will be a day when you will worship, you remember this, right? In spirit and in truth. What Jesus is doing here is he is inviting this woman to worship God as she is, not as someone else. This is a massive, revolutionary statement for a Samaritan woman. See, first of all, she was a Samaritan. And Samaritans were not considered to be a part of the people of God. They were not a part of Israel. They were not part of the Hebrew people. They were actually despised and hated by the Hebrew people. They did not have a place on the mountain of God, the mountain of Yahweh. They did not have a place in the temple of God. And she was a woman. And so in that culture, she was considered to be less than a man. She didn't have a place of authority and power in the temple of God because she was a woman. But Jesus says to this Samaritan woman, you're going to worship God as yourself, as a Samaritan, as one that your heritage is as a Samaritan, and as a woman, you are going to worship Yahweh, the creator of all things, in that truth, as a Samaritan, as a woman. Why? Because the truth is that God created her in His image. And Jesus is reminding her of who she was created to be. She was created to be an image bearer. See, truth is about empowerment. It's about having a place in the kingdom of God, to have a place at the table of the Lord. So love is about relationship, and truth is about empowerment. Love is about peace. Truth is about justice. This is the way of Jesus. This is how Jesus interacted with people around him. It was from a place full of love and full of truth. So let me ask you, is that how you interact with the people around you? Is that how we interact with those around us? I'm guessing that you answered that pretty quickly with a no. Most of us do a balancing act, sometimes showing love, sometimes showing truth. And most of us probably don't even think the way of Jesus is possible. But this is the example that Jesus set for us and the example that Jesus called us to. Let me show you how we typically interact with one another. And then I want to show you what Jesus is calling us to. I'm going to use this chalkboard here behind me. And we're going to write over here the words high truth. So we're going to continue using these phrases. And over here, we're going to use the word low truth. All right? Up here, we're going to use high love. And down here, we'll write low love. And so let's start over here in this right bottom quadrant. This is the place of low love and high truth. These relationships are call out relationships. Call out relationships. This is the type of place that when I interact with people that I'm always pointing out what they're doing wrong, what they believe is wrong, how they're living is wrong. I'm constantly condemning. I'm constantly judging. I'm constantly saying, you can do better. There's more to do. This always leads us to resentment. This is the place where we are exhausted in our relationships. It's do. That you never have a time where you can just sit and rest in relationships. It's like we're being sent out to beat people over the head with truth. As if they have the right truth without love, that it will transform them. It's never worked. It always pushes people away. It wears people out. I know that many of us that are a part of this church have been in relationships like this. Call out relationships, squashing relationships, exhausting relationships. Is this how you interact with people? Let's move up here to high love and low truth. This is what we want to describe as hangout relationships. Hangout relationships are the place where, hey, let's just all get along. Let's never step on each other's toes. Let's just be on the same page. Let's not push on each other. Let's just get together and drink some good coffee with one another and laugh and talk about sports. But whenever that gets uncomfortable, let's not talk about sports anymore. And so this is the place of high love and low truth. We don't want to talk about anything that's too offensive. We don't want to talk about anything that's going to make us uncomfortable, because being uncomfortable is never good, right? And so this is just the hangout culture. There's never really anything intentional here. It's very much accidental. We're just hanging out with one another. And then down here in the left-hand quadrant is the low love and low truth. And this is what we are going to call the checkout relationships. This is the person that has their head in the sand. This is survival, self-preservation. I'm just getting through every day. I don't want to know what's going on in the world. I don't want to know what's happening in your life. I just have to deal with what's going on in my life. I don't have anything to give. I don't have any way to be really intentional. It's just survival mode. This place is full of a lot of apathy. It really doesn't matter what is going on around me. These are the checkout relationships. A lot of times, let me show this. A lot of times, whenever we are in call out relationship, for too long, it will push us into checkout relationships. Because we're so exhausted, so tired, that we eventually will just shut down and we'll move into a place of checkout. Have you ever been there? So how do you relate? Do you relate to people with call-out relationships? Do you relate to people and interact with people through hangout relationships? Or do you interact with people through checkout relationships? What Jesus invites us to is what we want to call-in relationships. Call-in relationships. And the reason that we're going to use the language of call in is because we're being called into relationship with God. The goal of discipleship, the goal of following Jesus is always divine union, relationship, intimacy with God. And so as we are living high truth, high love way, then it is moving us into the presence of God. So we are being called into deeper relationship with one another. We're getting to know one another on a deeper level. We are being fully transparent, or at least giving it our best shot to show up as we are. And creating safe places where I can be who I am and be where I am and share what is going on in my life. And then I'm going to be met with truth and love, empowerment, and relationships. This is what we see Jesus living out, is call-in relationships. So what do you need to do in order to move towards call-in relationships? What needs to happen in your relationships so that your relationships will move from call-out to call-in, from check-out to call-in, from hang-out to call-in? What needs to happen for your relationships to move from a place of exhaustion or a place where they are stagnant, a place where they are apathetic, to a place where they are moving forward and giving life, giving you life and giving the people around you life? What needs to happen? There's an example of this in the life of Jesus. It's been talked about over the last couple weeks. You may have heard it, you may have read it on social media. It happens in Matthew chapter 21, verses 12 through 13, and Jesus is just hours, days away from being crucified. And it says this, it says that Jesus entered the temple and he began to drive out all the people buying and selling animals for sacrifices. He flipped over tables. He knocked over tables of the money changers and the chairs of those selling doves. And he said to them, the scriptures declare my temple will be called a house of prayer, but you have turned it into a den of thieves. Now, when we read that story, oftentimes all we see is truth. We see Jesus being hard-handed, right? Coming and flipping over the tables, but there's more going on. So where do you see love in this story? Where I see love is that Jesus entered the temple. In verse 12, the first four words, Jesus entered the temple. He went to them. He didn't stand on the outside of the temple shaking his fist and yelling at them. He went to them to be in relationship with them. And then the first four words of verse 13, it says that he said to them. He spoke to them. He didn't speak at them. This is key. He didn't yell at them. He didn't speak at them. He spoke to them. Now, they were hard words. They were truthful words, but he was speaking to them. So there's love. There's love in relationship, being present, meeting them where they were. But there's also truth. And the truth is found where it says, the scriptures declare, my temple will be called a house of prayer. He is speaking to the people of God, Israel, the Hebrew people, the people that were chosen to be a light to the world. And he was reminding them of who they were meant to be. You were meant to be in union with God, in the temple, and you were meant to be walking in union with God so that other people would see who God is. But instead, what you have done is you have forfeited, you have pushed away your union with God, and you have chose to rob people, you have chose to push people down, you have chose to cheat people, you have chose to oppress people. You have given up what you were called to be. And so Jesus gives truth, and the truth is full of empowerment to say, remember that you are a representation, you are a representative of who God is to the world. There is love and truth. Jesus is living out this call in relationship. So what do you need to do? What do you need to do to move forward? To move toward creating call-in relationships? Let me give you a couple examples as we close. If you're living down here in call-out relationships, maybe one of the first things you need to do is you need to develop relationships where you are listening more than talking. Where you are listening so that you can develop empathy and compassion for someone who has an experience different than you. Stop discounting other people's experiences. Stop speaking over other people's experiences. Stop telling people what they should experience and how they should experience it. And turn your ears on. Go and meet some people who have different experiences than you, who see the world different than you, and listen so you can develop empathy for them and compassion for them. If you're living here in hangout relationships, engage. Get off your keister and go do something. Start an intentional group for conversation. There's a group of alumni of our ministry on campus who are starting an intentional conversation about how to respond to injustice in their world. They got up and moved. They didn't just want to be in hangout relationships. They wanted to do something. Go and serve. Serve with people. Don't think about just serving people, but go and serve with people that have different experiences than you. Rub elbows with people that think about things differently than you do. Don't get caught in your silo. Engage. If you're down here in the checkout relationships, I want to encourage you to read. I want to encourage you to learn. I want to encourage you to be informed. Get in there. Read something. I know it can be tiring. I know it can be exhausting. I know it can be overwhelming. If you need a list of things, reach out to me. I would love to give you a great place to start, but you can't be uninformed. You can't have your head in the sand. It's time for you to lift up your head and open your eyes and see what is happening in the world so that God can move you forward. So what's your first step? What's your first step? What is God calling you to do this week? How will you move forward in your relationships? How will you change the way that you interact with the relationships around you? How can you move forward? How can you move toward the way of Jesus? The way that Jesus gave us to live. How will you do that this week? We pray for us. Father God, thank you for loving us. Thank you for meeting us where we are. And thank you for empowering us to say, you have authority in the kingdom. Thank you for choosing us and adopting us as your sons and daughters, but also for reminding us that we have a responsibility to be conduits of your grace to this world. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for sending your Son to die for us. And thank you for trusting us enough to give us the keys to the kingdom. I pray that you would speak to each one of us where we are, and that you would show us how to move forward in the way that we interact in the relationships that we have. Help us to live differently, God. Show us how to live differently. Give us the courage to live differently. Help us as the church to be a light in the dark places. It's in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit that we pray. Amen and amen. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Grace and peace.